All right, my 007 crew, thank you for tuning in for another video. Yeah, it's a nice warm day here in the Winnemucca, Nevada. A little bit warm weather. So decided to go make my trips to the store. Yeah, I pit stop at McDonald's, got me a little sandwich and some water and walked back. And I got a little bit of shocker on my way back. Uh, a dark SUV pulled up on me with some young white boys in about 25, 30 age, somewhere around that bracket. And they made the monkey sound and, flap their arms like the monkeys doing stuff and laugh. I just ignored them, looked up to the sky, looked to the God in me and just, I got to just talk to God, it's time for this stuff to come to an end. When they get to that point, I could deal with a lot of other stuff that's been going on, tracking, stalking, all that crazy stuff. But when they start pulling up on you, see, that's like you can ignore it, but then you can't ignore it. So, but me, being the smart man I am, I take it to the Father, and Father, something got to be done. That's what I think. Something got to be done, Father. It's time. You showing a little bit of your wrath, they ain't catching on. It's time for a full-fledged wrath of God. I need God to come on through and, I thinking like that. I know some of y'all can relate to what I'm saying, but the last time I looked in the mirror on the camera, I didn't see no monkey. But, that's what they did. I can ignore it, but when you got that and other little stuff that's happening, all that stuff start adding up, and you're just like, you can ignore ignorance, but how much ignorance are you going to accept? You know what I mean? It just don't make no sense. You know what I mean? So, what you gonna do? I gotta, like I said in previous videos, if I respond, then that's what they want. If I don't respond, then I gotta keep dealing with the mess. I don't have to deal with it, but I gotta deal with it until I can get this stuff straightened out. Well, I really, really, really hope these folks get this stuff straight. I hope the Lord, check it. But, back home when stupid stuff happened, I went back home, I would never call them monkeys, more monkeys, more of us black people around. So we didn't do that. You know what I mean? So even the Caucasians and the other races there, they didn't do that. So this is the first time in my life that I ever been not only pointed out, but rolled up on. And then, some white boys make the monkey sound and make the monkey armpits and all that stuff. Y'all know how it is. Well, y'all might not know how it is, but y'all know what I'm talking about. So, I gotta keep my head up, and keep moving forward. But, I really, really hope that God put an end to this stuff here. It's just, it's time for this stuff to end. I've been going through this stuff long enough. Keep me, like I said earlier in my past video, keep giving God thanks for delivering me. Because as you do that, the more people that do it, the more God will react. Not only will he start really punishing folks for their works, but which I believe has already started, because I've seen some folks that was, kind of giving me a little bit of a hard time, and now they are barely surviving. Their life is falling apart. So for these young men that did that, they can expect a visit from the Lord. Life is not going to be all well with them from past experiences. But I'm just ready to move on to the next level, make my next move. Because, I'm fighting a good fight, as they say in the scripture. And, you know, I'm only human. I'm just ready for the Father to put it into this matters. You know, take the drama they putting on me and put it on them. And that's the T. Peace.